Hello everyone. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to solve equation that involves radical. So these are the two examples I'll be working on in this video. So feel free to pause the video and then check your answers with me afterwards. So let's go ahead and do our first problem here. Okay, so we want to find all real solutions for x of this equation. So first thing you want to do is to get rid of those radical. So these are square roots. So the way we're going to get rid of them is by squaring both sides. So I'm going to go ahead and square the left side and then square the right side. So on the left side, we're going to have 3x minus 1 because the square and the square root cancels out. And on the right hand side, similarly, the square and the square root cancels out. So we're left with 4x minus 7. And now we continue to go ahead and start isolating for x. So I'm going to go ahead and add 1 to both sides. You can do in any order you like. You could have had 7 first, so really up to you. So if I do that, I will have 3x on the left side. And on the right hand side, we're going to get 4x minus 6. And now I still want to isolate x. I'm going to go ahead and subtract 4x. So if I do that, I will have 3x minus 4x, that would be negative x, and then we have negative 6 on the right side. So now to finally isolate x, we can divide or multiply by negative 1. I'll go ahead and divide by negative 1. So finally, we get x is equal to 6. Now this is a possible solution. What that means is you have to do the check because we want to make sure we have the correct answer. So we're going to go ahead and check by plugging this into our original equation. So now let's do the check. So we check for x equals 6. Is this a solution? So we plug this into our original expression. So we have the square root of 3 times x, which is 6, minus 1. We want to see if this is equal to the right-hand side, which is the square root of 4 times 6 minus 7. So that's what we're checking. So now on the left side, if you do 3 times 6, that's 18, minus 1, that would be 17. So you have a square root of 17. Now we want to see if that's equal to the right-hand side. So now on the right side, we have 4 times 6, 24. We take away 7, that would be, again, square root of 17. Great. So this checks. So now we're happy that we got an answer. So our answer is actually x equals 6. So this is an answer. So always remember to do your check every time you're solving equations that involve radical. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the second problem we had. So let's go ahead and do the same thing for this problem. But this one is a little different from previous one because the radical is not isolated. So the previous one, it was isolated. We had a radical equal to another radical. So we went to take the square root. But this one, we don't have that situation. So we try to isolate this expression right here. So the way we're going to do it is by removing it to the other side. So I'm going to go ahead and add this to the other side so that I make it positive. So we have plus radical x minus 1 on both sides. So that would give us x is equal to 3 plus a square root of x minus 1. And then to finally isolate, I will get rid of that 3. So simply I will subtract 3 on both sides. So that will leave me with x minus 3 is equal to the square root of x minus 1. Okay, that looks better. Now we can go ahead and square both sides. So I'm going to go ahead and square both sides. So we square the left side and we square the right-hand side. So that got rid of the radical. So if I square the left side, well, if you square two terms, you know you have to expand. So the left-hand side will be, so if you have x minus 3 square, well, that's simply x minus 3 times x minus 3. So apologies for running out of space. So So pretty much you expand. So x times x, that would be x squared. X times -3, -3x, -3 times x, -3x, and then -3 times -3. That's +9. So the expansion gives us x squared minus 6x plus 9. So that's what we're going to replace here. So when you expand x minus 3 squared, you get x squared minus 6x plus 9. And on the right-hand side, it's nice. We get to get rid of the radical. We get x minus 1. Oh, that's wonderful. So now set it equal to 0 and start solving for x. So it looks like it's going to reduce to a quadratic equation. So let's go ahead and minus x on both sides and plus 1. So that way we can have it equal to 0. And it will be a quadratic now. So we get x minus x squared minus 7x plus 10 is equal to 0. Now, it's a quadratic, so we can use either factoring or quadratic formula or completing the square to find the solutions. So I can look like, this seems like we can factor. So we look for two numbers to give us positive 10, sum up to a -7. Looks like -5 and -2 would do. So this is x minus 5 and then x minus 2. Great, so we have two possible solutions. We have x minus 5 equals to 0, that's 1, and then x minus 2 equals to 0, that's the second. So we have x equals 5 and x equals 2. Now these are possible answers, possible solutions. What that means is you have to check, plugging into the original, and then we perform the check. So let's go ahead and do that. So let's check for x equal 2 first. So let's do that. So let's do the check. So for x equal 2, when we plug this into the original, well, what is the original? Our original is x minus square root of x minus 1. So we get x, that's 2, minus square root of x minus 1, that's 2 minus 1. We want to see if that is equal to 3. So that's what we're checking. So plugging it into the original equation. So now what do we have? We have 2 minus 1, that's 1. So square root of 1 is 1. Is that equal to 3? Well, definitely not. Left side we get 1. 1 does not equal 3. So what does that mean? Well, that means that this is not a solution. Okay? So now we have to check the next possible solution we got. So you can see that how important it is that we check our answer. So now let's check x equal 5. So is x equal 5 a solution? So plugging it into the original, again, our original was x, so that's 5 minus a square root of x minus 1, so that's 5 minus 1. Is that equal to 3? So again, if you want to revisit, our original is right here. X minus square root of x minus 1 equals to 3. Okay, so continuing on, so we have 5 minus a square root of 5 minus 1, that's 4. Is that equal to 3? Well, square root of 4, that's 2. So what we really have is 5 minus 2, and that is 3. So 3 is equal to 3. Check. So here we can claim that, we got a solution. Wonderful. So that means our only solution is x equals 5. So that's the only solution to this problem, because when we check it with 2, it didn't work. Okay, so I hope now you're able to solve these type of equations.